Yeah, exactly right. And there is an injured Wildcat down on the field. It's the long snapper, Avery Salerno. He was down trying to make a play before the long punt return by Parker Kingston, and he was unable to do that and picked up an injury at the same time. Chance of BYU erupt from the crowd. There were some interesting tensions last year in a basketball contest between BYU and the U of A. So far, it seems like everything has been under control, but this is a mixed crowd. Definitely a crowd up for grabs, especially after the rain delay.
Tons of BYU fans here, all on their feet. Every Arizona fan is sitting on the bleachers. We need, if you're an Arizona fan, you have to be up here as loud as you can possibly be, trying to throw off the freshman Bachmeier in one of the biggest drives of his young career here.
Yes, exactly right. Critical drive for Bachmeier. 1st and 10 from the 47 of Arizona. BYU starting in Arizona territory. Bachmeier on a design quarterback keeper. Scampers up the middle. He's got a gain of 5
they
to
love
42.
That. BYU loves that play. That's probably their most run play of the day. That's another quarterback power right up the middle with Bachmeier for his 12th carry of the game.
No, you're exactly right about that. As now they're probably going to lean, you'd have to think, on Parker Kingston and on Chase Roberts in the passing game, but LJ Martin has enough time to impact this game as well. He is the back, flanking Bachmeier's left side. 2 receivers to the right, 2 receivers to the left. How many defenders will the Wildcats bring?
Clock ticking down under 2:15 as BYU snaps the ball. It's LJ Martin on the carry.
And Martin gets out to the 35-yard line. He's got the first down, and that will bring us, in all likelihood, to the 2-minute timeout. As BYU is not in any hurry to get a snap off, they will not. 2-0-0 on the clock. Arizona clinging to a 7-point lead, but BYU just 35 yards away from tying the game. High drama in the desert. Stay with us on KAMP Student Radio. 24-17, 2 minutes remain in the contest. David Mooradian alongside Ethan Glaich. And Ethan, BYU, I don't want to say they're on the doorstep, but maybe they're on the front porch. I mean, they're getting close. And if they can score, we'll likely be heading for overtime.
Yeah, David. Feels like a drive that's meant for a freshman quarterback to kind of get his feet wet here and get probably the biggest drive of his BYU football career under his belt rather than still looming ahead of him. This is a huge drive for him. If he can show that he's ready for it, bring BYU a touchdown here, tie the game, potentially go for 2 here.
Bachmeier's 11 of 25, 166, but 2 interceptions on the game. Out of the gun, sends a man in motion, looking left, he's going to keep it himself, running up the middle, another to side run. Bachmeier makes a few men miss, he's brought down at the 32-yard line, picking up a couple there.
Bachmeier is not scared of the contact at all as a quarterback. Feels more like a running back almost in this game.
Well, interestingly, you said he feels like a running back. He's 6'2", 220. LJ Martin is 6'2", 220. BYU does not call a timeout. The clock ticks under 140. They do have 2 timeouts in their pocket. Play clock down to 20. 2nd down and 6. Bachmeier takes the snap. Looking left. He's going to keep it again. Running up the middle. He's got plenty of space. Cuts back. Maybe not a smart move. Right around the lines again. I thought if he just went right and ran hard, he may have had more yardage. That's where there was more real estate, but he cut it up the middle inside, and they're going to say he's a couple of feet short. Timeout BYU with 1 minute 14 seconds left in the game. BYU has now just 1 timeout left. It'll be 3rd down and inches.
Just 11 completions on the day for Bachmeier. We've been talking about that a lot, but you're seeing him do it on the ground rather through the air against this Arizona defense. Makes you question, how good is this Arizona secondary? How good is Genesis Smith, the strong safety, Stukes the corner, Aiden Garnes, Michael Dansby? Are these guys pro-ready guys? Because Bear Bachmeier, the quarterback of a ranked, undefeated BYU team, has only gotten 11 completions on the day with 2 interceptions nonetheless.
11 completions, 5 of them to Kingston, 2 of them to Chase Roberts. The rest have been dump-offs to running backs. So it's certainly very interesting. Really only 7 completions to receivers. It's not a lot, safe to say.
Back on the field here for Bachmeier and the Cougars,
Now,
deep in Arizona territory.
The officials did put 3 more seconds on the clock, so BYU did get that timeout sooner than expected. So 1 minute and 17 seconds left. BYU just 1 timeout, but they have to worry about picking up this first down first. 3rd and inches. Is Bachmeier going to keep with his legs? It's been a trend here on this drive. And no, he'll give to Martin. Martin's got plenty of room out across the 20. There is a sea of defenders, and they finally bring him down at the 14-yard line. But that was a substantial gain of 12 for LJ Martin. He has had a remarkable game, over 150 yards on the ground.
Tackle on the play there by Dalton Johnson, saving a touchdown there.
Clock keeps running. Bachmeier rolling right, throwing right, and knocked out of bounds is the receiver, Cody Hagan. Hagan, he's been mentioned in a couple of critical situations. Not surprising to see him targeted there.
Interesting call there.
2nd down and 2. BYU is now officially on the doorstep. They've moved off the front porch. Inside the 10, ball on the 8. They need the 6. 1 minute, 3 seconds, 1 timeout for BYU. The Wildcats are holding on by a thread, desperate for a critical stop. And it's possible that the offense, if BYU scores soon, will get a chance here in regulation, but Brent Brennan is hoping that that is not the case. 2nd and 2, Bachmeier.
Sends pressure.
He escapes left. He's got room. He decides to throw instead, fires to the end zone. Pass is incomplete. There are no flags. And now
BYU's crowd is cheering, looking for either a pass interference or a roughing the passer call on that.
Is there a flag on the field? I don't see one.
I don't see one either, but BYU's crowd seems to be cheering. Not too sure why.
I think they're asking for a flag. We're maybe mistaking those cheers with please, because I don't see any laundry on the field. I think it's going to be 3rd down and short. As now the officials are...
Oh.
Did he catch it?
They're saying he may have caught it.
Oh, I see. It looked like that pass hit the ground, and now after review, it may have been caught. The pass was intended for Chase Roberts,
who's been quiet on the day, but if this is ruled a touchdown, the biggest play of BYU's day today comes from Chase Roberts. Struggled early, had just a few receptions, had a drop. This could be a game-changing play for number 2 of the Cougars in Chase Roberts.
Before the play, Chase Roberts had 2 catches for 25 yards, his longest being a 17-yard reception earlier in the contest. But this would really change the complexion of the game and how we review Chase Roberts' performance on the night, because this would be a critical catch. Let's look at the replay here. Ethan, the ball, I think it hit the ground there.
It's so hard to see.
Very close. They have a terrific camera angle. So the call is not going to be because they didn't have the right angle on this. They have the perfect view. The ball comes in here. Let's see. The hands need to be under with control. The ball can touch the ground, but it needs to be controlled. Did it hit the ground, or did he get his hands under it there?
I can't really tell. I think whatever they call on the field is going to stand.
Rolling on the field is an incomplete pass.
Because it is so close to tell that you can't really change that call.
I think it's on the ground there.
Unless it's very clear to these refs that he caught it, which it's not clear enough to either of us on the call here.
And we're going to hear the verdict right now. It's fourth. And
BYU is cheering. No, Arizona is cheering.
Arizona's cheering. It's an incomplete pass. I don't know the gesture that the official made. It looked like he said 4th down, but I think it's 3rd down, so I think he screwed up there. But here's the situation. Incomplete pass, 3rd and 2. The official went fist for 4th down. He doesn't realize it's 3rd down, but that's okay. We'll give him pass, 3rd and 2.
Yeah, this is probably the biggest down of Arizona's season.
Wow.
3rd and 2 with 50 seconds left in the red zone, inside the 10 actually.
1 timeout left for BYU. Critical play right here. Do they give to Martin? No. Bachmeier on the keep. We shouldn't be surprised. Looking for the 6. Did he get there? Arizona doesn't think so.
Ball on the ground. Arizona pointing their way.
It's a fumble. Who's got it? The officials come in the pile. There's a big swarm on the 5-yard line. Bachmeier had a second effort. He may have picked up the first down, but did he fumble first? We're not sure. They have to get to the bottom of the pile. A huge
Watching the replay on the TV, ball was definitely on the ground. Just whether the referees give it to Arizona or back to BYU.
Here's the verdict. It's Judgment Day here in Arizona Stadium, and it's 1st down, BYU Cougars. Wow. So it was a second effort by Bachmeier. Did he lose control of the ball? I'm not sure.
Number 64, offensive lineman of the Cougars, came up with the ball after he fumbled. It was Genesis Smith on the play. The ball was on the ground.
This play is
however, it was recovered by number 64 off of the Cougars offensive line. That's Kyle Svarsiowick.
Yes, so this play is going to be reviewed. The officials gather here. They're likely going to look at the replay center. So the ball we think is on the ground. Is there a clear recovery? Now remember, if BYU jumps on it, then it would still be first and goal for the Cougars. So this has a lot to look at here. Did he pick up first down yardage and be down by contact? Did the ball jar loose? I'm not entirely sure.
As Arizona's defense is coming back on the field.
So it looks like the call is just going to be first down BYU here with 47 seconds left.
That was a great punch out from Genesis Smith there.
Yeah, but I don't think the Wildcats were able to jump on the football. It's hard to tell. It was such a scrum in there so quickly. Hard to organize that. Nonetheless.
Very unlucky on that. Another quarterback power, by the way.
This tense game gets even more nerve-wracking. 47 seconds left. One timeout for BYU. Ball on the 5, first and goal. Martin is the back. Bachmeier takes the snap. Rolling right, looking right. Fires for the end zone, incomplete. Yes. Flag flies. It's going to be first and goal from the one. They're going to get the Wildcats with pass interference.
Yeah, looks like Dansby had his hands all over Chase Roberts on that comeback route. It's a designed rollout from Bachmeier towards the right side, his strong side. It was good coverage at first, but Dansby looked like he was grabbing onto him, even though it wasn't the best throw from Bachmeier. Looked wide right. However, Dansby was grabbing him, bringing up.
Chase Roberts was the receiver. He drew the penalty on Dansby. I misspoke. I want to correct that quickly. It's not the NFL. The penalty's half the distance to the goal. The ball is not placed at the 1, rather the 2.5. So possibly a key difference there. Bachmeier takes a snap. Quarterback keeper running up the middle. The Wildcats rally to the ball, and he is going to be brought down short. Forward progress keeps the ball at the 3-yard line. It's a no-gain rush for Bachmeier. The clock is running. BYU calls timeout. It's their final timeout of the game at 33 seconds.
That's an unbelievable stuff from linebacker Tay Brown for your Wildcats. Read it the whole way. BYU's been going to that all game. The quarterback draw up the middle, and Tay Brown was all over it, stuffing Bachmeier at the line of scrimmage, bringing up 2nd and 3 on the 3-yard line. 33 seconds left in the game.
BYU now has 0 timeouts. There's 33 seconds left in the game. So you'd have to think any completion or running play that keeps the clock running would work severely to their disadvantage. So you have to expect BYU will likely throw to the end zone on 2nd and 3rd down. 4th down's a different story because it's your last play. But I think on 2nd and 3rd down, these are going to be passing plays into the end zone because the clock is no longer BYU's friend and they can't stop it without any timeouts.
100% agree with you, David. These have to be pass plays, or these could see Bachmeier rolling out and extending the plays as well. He's been doing it all night with his legs, but he's going to have to get it through the air to end this game.
Yep.
In order for BYU to stay in it. And if Arizona makes a tackle here in bounds, then you have to see at least 20-25 seconds come off the clock here.
No, this is by far the most interesting game of the Wildcat season, possibly the most impressive victory if they can hang on. 2nd and goal from the 3. Bachmeier out of the gun. Martin to his left, drops back, looks left, throws into the end zone. Pass is knocked away. No flags, incomplete. Like we expected, thrown to the end zone. Terrific coverage on the play by Javian Cole.
That's actually Aiden Garnes on the coverage there. He had locked up BYU's receiver. That's Chase Roberts, their number 1 guy all season. But Aiden Garnes said not today. Pass deflected on the sideline in the end zone. Great play from the Arizona secondary, and especially the Arizona corner, Aiden Garnes, bringing up 3rd down. That was a quick play there. 4 seconds off the clock. You now have 29 seconds.
So I think
2 plays.
29 seconds is at 2 plays. Even if it's in the field of play, it's possible, but I still think they'll throw to the end zone. Here we go. 3rd and goal. Rolling right. Bachmeier fires for the end zone. Pass is incomplete. No flags. Yes, there is a flag. Penalty marker down, but it doesn't change the situation that much. It does make it 1st and goal. Well, it changes the situation considerably, but with no timeouts, BYU is going to have to keep throwing into the end zone. That's my point.
And that's a questionable call there on Michael Dansby, the Arizona corner. Not too sure if he was grabbing him.
Here, they're having a conversation. This flag hasn't been announced yet because, like you said, it's not a clear-cut penalty. We'll see if they keep the call. They do. Pass interference on Dansby.
So BYU does get a reset of downs here with 24 seconds left, and they get closer to the end zone here.
But, Ethan, I still don't think they can run the ball with 24 seconds left because if they come up short, you're talking about precious time. That's not a great call.
Yeah, I think that was a pretty weak call on number 25, Michael Dansby there.
Anyway, BYU hurries up to the line, play clock under 20. 1st and goal from the 2. Likely going to have to throw. 24 seconds left. Bachmeier rolling right. He's going to keep it himself, running up the middle, into the end zone. That is a BYU touchdown. And with a PAT pending, this game is potentially tied.
Arizona's defense there has to expect that to be a Bachmeier run play there as he just rolls out right, faking the pass and decides to keep it himself, going up the middle, scoring the touchdown. He's been doing it on his legs all night. Arizona's defense has to expect that. Rather than playing the pass there, you just question.
BYU is going to go for the PAT. I just want to mention that decision has been made. They're not going to try to go for 2 and take the lead right here and there.
Back to my point, Bachmeier's been running it all night.
Yep.
You have to play that.
He sold it really well, though.
He did sell that really well. Great play from the freshman quarterback.
And a risky play because if he doesn't get that, that could have been the last play of the game. Here's the extra point. BYU looking for the tie. Kick is up. Looked like a nice kick, and it's through. 24-24, a gut-wrenching. It's not a finish because the game isn't over. We're likely heading to overtime, but a gut-wrenching last few minutes for Arizona, a team that had a 10-point lead in the later stages of the 4th quarter. That lead is gone. We are tied. Here's kind of the summary how we got there. It was an explosive start for BYU. They came out firing, scored the first 14 points. From there, Arizona dominated. There was an hour and 20-minute rain delay that aided the Wildcats. It seemed like they fed off that. Like I said, 24 unanswered points. They led by 10 in the 4th quarter. From there, it's been all BYU. A long drive that led to a field goal, and then that touchdown drive that went 2 minutes and 36 seconds, 11 plays, 47 yards. And that was enough to tie the game at 24. Now, an explosive play here in the kicking game could result in an Arizona, possible regulation victory, but I have to imagine that this kick by Will Farron will go through the back of the end zone, and they won't allow any kind of return from likely Luke Wysong.
And going back to when BYU was down 10 on that 4th and 1 in the red zone, when I said they should kick the field goal, you said they should have gone for it. You have to get that touchdown.
The field goal worked out really well.
You have to get that field goal anyway, so you have to take it there with the time still on the clock, hoping you get the ball back.
But if they win, maybe they'd be winning the game right now.
That is true.
So it's a tough call. Now maybe they would have been more conservative there on 4th down and touch and kicked. So it's certainly a tough thing to say.
Yeah, you can't really look at it as if we went for it and got it, we would be winning. You look at it as staying in the game.
Yeah, exactly.
And trying to win the game.
Now, one final question here before we get to overtime. Will the Wildcats try to score here in a 2-minute offense or just take a knee and play this one for overtime? I expect a knee.
It looks like a knee here from Noah Fafita. As long as the snap isn't fumbled, we should be going to OT.
I will be calling my first overtime ever for KAMP Radio in football. I've never called overtime, so that will be very interesting. And we know the rules. It will be each team starting on the 25-yard line with no restrictions imposed on the first set. And then if they both score or are tied, then I believe the second time they will be forced to go for 2. Before then, it will just be 2-point conversions. Do I have that right, Ethan? I think I do.
Yeah, you do. We have either Arizona or BYU getting the ball first. That'll be up to a coin toss.
Yep. Now, in our booth, we are not privy to the coin toss and the decision. We're not able to hear the audio of that. So instead, we'll just step aside. We'll set the stage when we return. Overtime, bonus action, a game that was already pushed back because of a 1 hour and 20-minute rain delay. Just got a little bit longer, but these are the kinds of games that we would watch forever because it's tied 24-24, Arizona and BYU on KAMP Student Radio.